So, I hope you all have a pleasurable evening. If there's anything that you need, just ask the staff. I would like to congratulate Ros and Sean on this beautiful book. Anybody says that artists and academics are difficult to work with, these certainly are not. So just to proceed on with our guest speaker, a good friend of mine. The gentleman is Joe Mahon. Okay, thank you.
Come on, you can do better than that. Give us a big hand for Jenna, please. Is this working? Can everyone hear me downstairs? Well, pay attention then, please, right? We're talking among yourselves. Let me say, first of all, I'm delighted and really honoured to be asked to come along here tonight. My two people I've come to know very well in recent years, and two people whose reputation preceded them, because I was aware of them many, many years ago. For those of you who don't know who I am, by the way, there's a programme called Lesser Spotted Ulster. Hands up those who've heard of it. There are people down the stairs who would like the ushers to put them out, please, because they haven't heard. More recently called Lesser Spotted Journeys. And the proud boast that I make, I'm not particularly a boastful person, but in spite of my youthful appearance, that programme has been going out on television for the past 23 years, successive years, non-stop. Boastfully and proudly, because what it means to me, apart from in my livelihood, is it means that the subject matter of those programmes is still, if anything, more popular than ever, and it regularly vies for the top spot in the ratings with programmes like EastEnders. So it's as popular as soaps are at the present time, and that's because of the nature and the content of these programmes. And the nature of the content is Irish landscape, Irish history, Irish stories, Irish characters. And the two people that we're here tonight to celebrate and their joint work together, both of them at one stage or another have featured in that programme. But they've also featured in it in ways that perhaps they don't even know, because in Sean Beattie's case in particular, Sean has been a source of both inspiration and a source of knowledge for me that I could readily consult over many, many years. Ros I met many years ago when she was probably setting out fairly early on in her career. And it's not for me to say how her career has progressed, except to say all you have to do is look around the walls of this room that you're in tonight and you will see her most recent output. She is one of the most prolific artists that we have, and one of the best painters and pastels that I have ever seen. And it really is, I suppose, her seascapes in particular that I remember, because she's the first person I ever met who could actually paint water, and paint light coming through water, and paint waves in a way that was both realistic and romantic at the same time. And that, if anything, has got better over the years. Sean Beattie, let me tell you, well, let me go back to the programme first, because it's relevant to this. People often ask me, in fact it's one of the most common questions I get asked, what is your favourite place? What was your favourite programme that you ever did? Now, if you're in Greencastle, it's very wise in politics to say, well, Greencastle by far was the best programme that we ever did. In fact, we did two from Greencastle. I hope we saw it quite recently. But generally speaking, the only way out of that question, because when somebody asked you, I should say that over the 23 years, we estimate that we've done something like 250 different programmes. It's 250 different places in Ireland. Most of them in Ulster, but I was let out for good behaviour recently, and now we travel all over the place. Over that period of time, I estimate that we did something like, you know, the road tapes are the tapes that you actually record whenever you're travelling. They don't necessarily all end up in the finished programme. The ratio is about 10 to 1. So the road tapes that we have shot over that period of time are something like 3,500 hours. And I estimated one time that if you actually put our programmes together end to end, not the programmes, sorry, the road tapes together end to end, you would need 5 different kinds of machines to play them for a start off, because the camera format has changed so many times over the years. But if you put it on the 1st of January, let's say 12 midnight on the 1st of January, and you started playing those road tapes, one after the other, non-stop, they would be playing for 24 hours a day for up until June. So nearly 6 months of recorded programmes of archived material, of people, of places, of stories, etc. And so pick your favourite out of all of that. When people ask you, what is your favourite place? Generally I would get out of it and say, well, say the place I was in last week, or the place that I'm going to be in next week, or the place that I'm in this week. So I'll get out of that question, which I've posed to myself, by saying, next Monday night at 8 o'clock on UTV, free plug for me, right? Lesser Spotted Journeys is coming from Laytown in County Meath. Now I'm going to compare County Meath to County Donegal very briefly. County Donegal has the most wonderful, as everybody will know, wild Atlantic coast. It has the most wonderful coast of any county in Ireland, bar none. Yeah. Down in County Meath next week. County Meath is a big sprawling county as well, but it's only got a wee tiny toehold on the coast. Now, it's a wee tiny toehold, but it's a beautiful, long, golden strand. It's absolutely gorgeous. Laytown is one small town on that strand in the County Meath coast. And beside it are 2 other towns that are now regarded as all part of the one electoral area. You have got Bettiestown and you have got Mornington. And I was required to do a wee piece on Bettiestown. Is there anyone here called Betty? Thankfully not, right, okay. What I'm going to say might sound as if I'm a bit pejorative about the name Betty, and I'm not really. It's a very fine woman's name, but it doesn't belong in Bettiestown. I was asking local historians around that area, where did the name actually come from? And I've had various versions that she was the wife of a landlord 200 years ago, that Betty actually referred to Elizabeth I, who actually had the Maiden Tower in Mornington named after her. She was the Maiden Queen, the Virgin Queen, therefore the Maiden Tower. Therefore Bettiestown, people assumed, even people who were knowledgeable locally assumed that Bettiestown was called after Queen Elizabeth. Further investigation with some friends of mine, and I'm quite sure Sean Beattie could tell you the answer to this. Bettiestown comes from the Irish Baile and Beattie. Baile and Beattie comes, or the Beattie part of that, comes from Beatach. And the Beatach is it's a word with great pedigree and great distinction in Irish history. It comes from the Irish word bea, which all of you know I'm sure means food, right? And a Beatach would have been one of the most important jobs, if you like, or roles in medieval Gaelic society. Because the Beatach would be charged by the lord of the clan, or his tribe, or his local king, to provide hospitality and accommodation and food for travellers to that lord's territory. And the Beatachs would have to keep a kind of a hostelry, or an inn, or a hotel, if you like, back in the 13th, 14th, 15th century, at the very edge of that territory. So Sean Beattie's surname is Beatach, which means a man who provided hospitality. Now you can't imagine going into such an hostelry if you're a traveller, and the first thing you do after you get fed and watered is to say, well, tell us the crack, what's happening around here? And the Beatach would be sure to have all of the answers, the local history at his fingertips. So Sean Beattie is merely in a long succession of other Beatties who are doing the same job many, many hundreds of years, even 1,000 years ago. So that's the tradition that Sean Beattie comes from. Okay? Where is Sean?
He's behind you.
Mine's your last red, Sean. I have a lot to thank Sean for, and to thank Ros for, not least for taking part in the programmes in the past. And in Sean's case in particular, Sean is an historian that Donegal is very fortunate to have. I want to clarify some terms here for myself as much as for anybody else. There is a term currently going around called local historians. It's a misnomer really, because local historian, the term itself suggests that that historian's area of expertise is confined to his locality. There are people in the past who would regard themselves as local historians and were quite happy with that description. Nowadays, and things have changed enormously over the past 23 years, nowadays historians are historians. If they are called local historians, it usually simply means that they have a particular area of expertise in their own locality. But Dr. Beattie, let me assure you, is not only a local historian, he is an historian, a major historian, and he is also someone who has a particular expertise and a particular knowledge of his beloved County Donegal. It behoves me at this stage to say something about my own Donegal pedigree, because, okay, I come from Derry, but my family, or half of my family at least, come from different parts of Donegal. My granny was McClune. Where's Anne? Is Anne Fried still here somewhere? You recognise that name? From Glenties. And the other side of my family were McMenamins from out the Illies, the same people that built the stone jug. They were masons as well. So I have strong ancestral roots in different parts of Donegal, of which I am, of course, immensely proud. So I have some right to be here, apart from the fact that I do a TV programme as well. Anyway, I'll come to the point. I could wrap it on here all night long, but I will not, because other people have a chance to get a wee word in it. I was delighted and I was honoured to have a part in the launching of this book, Donegal's Wild Atlantic Coast. It's a beautiful publication, as you can see, and in it is the combination of the talents, two great talents, I think, of Donegal natives, who have provided, in terms of Sean's text and in terms of Ros's paintings, a beautiful combination of talents that are extraordinarily complementary. Because there's nobody in Donegal who knows more about the history, the topography, and all the other, that's another thing I should say about Sean Beattie. It's not merely the history. He has gone out of his way to provide us with information on all aspects of the county, all aspects of the places that are featured. And Ros must have been painting 24 hours a day for the past, I don't know, couple of years to turn out the wonderful paintings that she has turned out around the wall here today. And all of them can be purchased, all of that work can be purchased inside this book. So, without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to say to you all, do not leave here tonight without maybe several copies of this. It's a great stocking filler as well, and I can assure you that it is something that will sit on your bookshelves for many generations, and your own particular brand of posterity will enjoy it from here on in. So congratulations to Ros, congratulations to Sean, and may you both maybe collaborate yet again in the future on Volume 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Joe. So just to introduce myself, I'm Tim Johnson from the publishers, Cottage Publications. Just to pick up Joe on something he said there, I met with Ros and Sean about January of this year. It was just immediately after Christmas, and we met up at Ros's. We were having a lovely lunch, and we were discussing the book. And so Ros said, when are you thinking about having this, Tim? What, sometime maybe summer 2018, Christmas 2018? Is it? No, Christmas this year. It all got very, very quiet for a while. So the work that Ros has done around here is absolutely astonishing, especially given the time scale she was working on. And Joe was right, she was painting, I think, 24/7, but the work is absolutely splendid. Sean, as ever, was an absolute delight to work with. He keeps us right on where to go, who to speak to, what to do. And so thank you both very, very much for a tremendous job that you've done. So anyhow, with that, I think Ros is just a wee presentation here.
A balloon always wonderful.
I'm not entirely sure what it is the balloon is, but maybe they can explain that later. So anyway, with that, really, that brings to the end of the sort of formal part of the proceedings. There's wine, coffee, canapes, Gemma and their staff being extraordinarily busy. They're all being served downstairs, so if anybody wants, just go down, help yourselves. Anything you need, give us a shout, and please enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much.